And Kristen, over to you at the White House. You were at the White House briefing earlier. You asked, I think, a really critical longer-term question to Karoline Leavitt. Explain what that was.
Yeah, Phil, this is all about FEMA. So just remember, last month, President Trump essentially announced that he was going to be phasing out FEMA after hurricane season. Now, he was asked to follow up on that yesterday, given the fact that FEMA is on the ground in Texas. He was non-committal, but we heard the state and local officials praising the federal response and the federal aid, including FEMA. So I followed back up with Karoline Leavitt about this. Here's the exchange. Is President Trump reconsidering his plan to phase out FEMA, given what officials have said is their critical role on the ground now in Texas?
Look, the president wants to ensure American citizens always have what they need during times of need. Whether that assistance comes from states or the federal government, that's a policy discussion that will continue. And the president has always said he wants states to do as much as they can, if not more. And in the case of Texas, the state and local officials are doing a tremendous job.
So not really answering the question there. In fact, another reporter tried to follow up on my question later, and she said she'd already answered it. But as you can hear, she does not actually answer the question of whether or not they're going to phase out FEMA. The other part of this is that Karoline Leavitt came in saying that anyone who was questioning the cuts and whether or not these government cuts played a role in what happened in Texas, anyone who said that this wasn't just a once-in-a-lifetime natural disaster was playing political politics. She said that people were pointing fingers in a partisan way. And I will say, Phil, one other thing that I asked is that we saw President Trump over the weekend calling Elon Musk a train wreck, essentially saying that he was erratic, he was all over the place. So I did ask if there was any concern over some of the decisions that Doge made while Musk was advising them on cuts, which would include the National Weather Service. She said no, and she pushed back that those cuts could have done anything. But it is interesting to look at that moving forward in terms of cuts that were made under Musk, if we continue to hear President Trump saying that effectively Musk is unhinged.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Kristen Holmes from the North Lawn of the White House.